So for me, I'm not trying to say every company is going to have a $500 million exit. They worked incredibly hard. It was an incredibly successful business. But like that mentality, that mindset, like it feeds into the culture of the company. Like it's not, I'm not trying to say it was a very New York grinded out kind of culture, like not in a bad way. Like, hey, we're here to like succeed. We're not here to just kind of like spend somebody else's money. This is my money. If you're going to go like build this product, you're going to go buy this software, you're going to go do this thing. It's my money. Like, I mean, make sure it's like worthwhile. Make sure it like actually matters. And again, like go do it. Like we're here to grow. We're here to like to succeed. But like you have to always be mindful and thoughtful about like what you're spending, what you're doing. So I've always loved that. And so when my team and I got together a few years ago to kind of start this new journey, we really did like have that mindset in place. And so we really are in the bootstrap mindset. We bootstrap our businesses today. We build what our customers ask for. We get paid to like basically do what our customers are asking us to do. Like we're not here just like spending somebody else's money. And so like I've been fortunate enough to like kind of like have the ability to do that right now and like kind of like build that way.
Welcome to the AI Marketing Navigator, where we simplify AI marketing to keep you ahead of the curve. Brought to you by Digital Pop, delivering AI marketing automation so your small business thrives. Here's your host, Alex Carlson.
What is up, everybody? Just a quick heads up before the episode here. There was unfortunately a little bit of a technical issue. It sounds like my mic dropped out during this interview. So the sound quality isn't quite as high as it should be. And so just an apology in advance for slightly reduced sound quality on this one, but still a ton of value in this interview from Jon. And thank you to him again, and hope you guys enjoy. Thanks for listening. What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the AI Marketing Navigator. This is your daily compass in the ever-evolving world of AI marketing. Okay, Navigators, today we have an interview guest, the CEO of Just Reach Out and founder of ChatRank, leading the charge in democratizing public relations, PR, through AI-powered tools. We're going to talk everything about PR, get some expertise on the field of PR, but of course, we're going to talk a lot of AI goodness as well. Our guest today is Jon Mest, and Jon has a unique background spanning Wall Street, M&A, data science, baseball of all things. We'll talk baseball as well, and brings analytical rigor to the traditionally relationship-driven world of PR. And we'll talk about how it's still relationship-driven. And in the world of AI, everything is going to be more relationship-driven. And his latest venture, ChatRank, launched just in December of 2024 and represents really the cutting edge of what Jon calls LEO, large language model engine optimization, and helping brands optimize their visibility across AI platforms like ChatGPT, like the Google AI overviews, like Perplexity, all the tools that we talk about on this show. And Jon's mission is simple yet revolutionary, making professional grade PR accessible to businesses that can't afford traditional agency retainers. Jon, thank you so much for being on the show with us today.
Thanks, Alex. Really happy to be here.
Excellent. Well, I figured we'd just start with the question we always start with. We'll get a little bit of your journey and your background. You started, as we mentioned, on Wall Street doing M&A in that tech sector. Then you moved through data science, various startup, things like that, before you landed in the world of PR. And we'll definitely want to pick your brain about the world of PR. But can you tell us a little bit about what that journey from Wall Street to PR was like, what that evolution was like? How did that analytical background also shape your approach to public relations, things like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I was that kid that was like always knew I liked math, didn't really know what I wanted to do with my life when I got to college. Ended up finding this cool major called applied mathematics. It was in the engineering school. It's kind of like the way I describe applied math to people is, it's like they teach you like how to solve problems. Like that's essentially what applied math is. And so it's not like mechanical engineering or civil engineering. It's like an engineering discipline that's all about problem solving. So I love that from an analytical perspective. And you're right, I did kind of use that and jumpstart that into like my start of my career in M&A and tech for an investment bank called Thomas Weisel Partners. But by doing that, I kind of learned how companies operate, how they form, how they like kind of work. I did a lot of, like you said, M&A work, so how they sell and how they exit. Super interesting, but like kind of wanted to go back to my data science and like kind of coding roots. And so I ended up joining a startup called 1010 Data, like started as a data scientist. Pretty quickly, they were like, you know how to talk to humans, you should like go out on the road and start selling the software you're building. And so I started doing that, kind of transitioned into, like sales engineering, did customer success for a bit, wore some product hats, wore a lot of different hats over the course of the time there. We had a fantastic exit with that company. It was a lot of fun kind of building and scaling. Ended up going to business school for a couple of years in Philly, and then like came out of there, worked at a startup for a bit, and then kind of that led me to my current like PR and kind of visibility journey that we're on now. But gets my analytical background kind of and like my I don't really write code anymore. That's like not my goal. I have people to do that for me. But basically like that kind of sense and like understanding how to solve a problem really does apply to really anything, especially the world of PR with kind of more like, older industries that kind of are ripe for disruption, let's call it. So that's, I know, like where how we approach the problem, and it's done really well for us.
Absolutely. It's a super valuable insight. Thank you so much. And let's talk about how you can apply a few of those. We talked about how the analytics always apply to things, including PR, but how about some of the Wall Street due diligence principles maybe? I know you've mentioned and talked about the rates that you've had to pay PR agencies in the past, and specifically up to $30,000 to one New York PR agency, and getting literally nothing in return, which I can only imagine. Can you kind of walk us through how that shaped your philosophy? What if we're doing PR for the first time, what's the due diligence that someone needs to take about doing it yourself, getting started for the first time in the world of PR?
Yeah, so I don't know if any of my former banking colleagues are listening to this podcast. Maybe not. They seem to have. It's been a little while, but basically, like I used to always joke that what did investment banking do for me right out of undergrad? Well, it taught me how to like put on a suit and tie and like write an email. Like at the minimum, like it taught me a lot more than that. But like at a basic level, it's like, did you know how to like show up to work every day, and do you know how to like write a good email? Like, and do you know how to work with clients and talk to people? And like I know that's like seems so silly and like foundational, but it really was like kind of helpful to me to understand like like you grow up and you grow up pretty quickly in the world of investment banking in New York City. It's a bit of a grind, those long weeks and years really. But what it taught you is like how to kind of treat problems and situations like fully. So I don't really know how to like, just like give it not my all when I'm kind of putting my mind to something. So it
Mhm.
kind of led me to like when you're thinking about PR, you're thinking about really anything you're doing for your business. It's like I know that I will do a better job telling my story and bringing my story to life to these journalists, to these podcasters, to these bloggers than, frankly, a PR agency would. Like, there's no knock on the agencies. They're like they do serve a purpose. There's a lot of really great things they do, like crisis communications and helping you kind of set things up and everything like that. But frankly, when it comes to telling a story and kind of telling your story, especially as a founder of a small business, as a an e-commerce business, B2B, B2C, doesn't matter. Like you want to tell your story. And so for me, like learning how to kind of like really kind of put 100% effort into that, I just know that myself and our best customers are doing that more so than the agency might. And yes, it takes your own time, and maybe not everybody has that time. But if you do have the time to give to it, that really kind of help you kind of jumpstart your process and avoid paying some of those higher fees for an agency to do that for you.
Amazing. So really focus on sharing your story. If you're going to use an agency, if you're going to do it for the first time and utilize your experience in your story, what what's what's the best way you think working with clients in the PR industry? What's the best strategies to get that story from a client? Let's say I was going to help a client for the first time doing PR, and I was going to try and get them a mention in a TechCrunch or a Forbes, which you've had success getting mentioned in. How can I really get in and get to know? Is it a podcast discussion that like I'm having with you? Is it an interview? Does it take more than just that? Am I gonna have to embed in the office for a week or a month? What exactly would I need to do? And on the flip side, that kind of informs a small business owner what they might need to do to impart their story to a PR agency if they were going to go the agency route.
Yeah, so I'm going to say something, and it's going to sound very simple, but it's actually not. It actually takes real like time and skill to get good at this as a business owner, as a kind of somebody trying to sell this your story. Like we call it internally a narrative building session. So if you were to go out to the press and pitch your business yourself as a person, your business as a whole, whatever it might be, it's very, very common for you to try to go out and say, "Hi, I'm John. I'm amazing. Write about me." Or, "Hi, I'm John. Like you have to like I have such an amazing story. Like write about me." Like that doesn't work. Like journalists don't care. Well, like maybe they care. Like if you're not, if they really probably don't care. Let's put it that way. Like they
Right.
really want to tell a good story. They're not listening to you. They're listening to their audience. What does their audience care about? Whether it's a podcast, they know their audience, or it's a journalist that writes, they know their audience. Like understanding who their audience is and work your way backwards to the podcast host, to the journalist, to the blogger, whomever, and then what your story you're trying to tell them. So if you're pitching to a Forbes, it's really about like, what story is going to appeal to a mass audience? Like, okay, so I run a PR business. It's like, okay, I can tell them all about how small businesses can save so much money by like doing this. Maybe it's a save money story. Maybe it's a innovation story, but it's kind of something that everybody can care about. Whereas I'm pitching to like, an SEO blog or like, a more technical publication. It's going to be all about, their readers care about like the nitty gritty of what happens. Like when you do get that backlink, what does that mean? How does it work? Like all that kind of fun stuff. Like, you're going to get more technical with your pitch and what you're doing. And so to step back before you even get started with your PR journey, it's about that narrative building session. What are the potential ways I can tell my story, and what can that story be? And then match that idea, that narrative, to an audience, to an outlet. And like that kind of process, our team, we know how to do that really, really well. It's something we've mastered and kind of help imbue like that the knowledge onto our customers. But if you want, that doesn't require like our services. Like you can do that yourself. Like I said, it sounds really easy, but it actually is kind of challenging to sit down in a room for a couple of hours with your team and be like, okay, what is it that we do? What is it that what story can we tell? And then match that story to, an outlet or an audience that might be interested in that story.
I love that as a general tip, as a hint. Work your way back. It's all about the incentive of the audience, who you're trying to talk to, and work your way back from there. Love that, especially. Before we dive full head on into AI, which is of course always our mission here on the Navigator. You've also talked about being burned out by typical VC and venture capital. Can you talk to me about the choice between bootstrapping versus typical VC, and what's your philosophy on funding? How does it affect your decisions in the future? Let's get into the weeds on that a little bit.
Yeah, this could be an entire podcast episode on its own. So I'll try to synthesize this down as best I can. So I am definitely not here to bash the VC industry. That is something that I do not plan to do, because frankly, they do serve a great purpose. But people don't realize that when you see somebody raising $100 million at some crazy valuation, you don't really understand necessarily what that means for the business, what like pressure that puts on them, what that means for their growth, what that means for what they're trying to do as a business. Their mission might be, it kind of just distorts things, because that venture capital firm is giving you a lot of money because they want results and they want to see 100x return. Like they don't make investments for 2x returns. They make investments for 100x returns. And so for like that mindset in mind, like my co-founders and I have all kind of gone the VC route with startups in the past and seen that like it just might not be the best thing for us. Like for us, like I joined 1010 Data in 2013. The company had been bootstrapped. They like started from day one in like whatever 2001. So they've been at it for whatever 13, 14 years by the time I joined. And there was still kind of a startup mentality, because they were just been growing slowly, dollar by dollar, like day over day. Like, hey, I only exist tomorrow because I sold a client today. Like that like mindset, that kind of way of like, hey, we'll build what the client pays us to build. We'll build what we need to build because that's what our customers are asking for. You kind of take away the pie in the sky, I'm going to build a 100x product, and you turn it into like, hey, my clients are asking, it kind of forces you to say, my clients are asking for this, I'm going to build this. And my clients are asking for this, and I'm going to build this. Like that's kind of what you have to do. Bootstrapping means that like, I only exist tomorrow because I got paid for something today. So that mindset really stuck with me. And I was kind of early in my career. And when we did have a $500 million exit, and I watched our two co-founders, Sandy and Joel, become like nine-figure paychecks on a random Wednesday. Like that was really, really, really exciting to see like how that could really happen. So for me, I'm not trying to say every company is going to have a $500 million exit. They worked incredibly hard. It was an incredibly successful business. But like that mentality, that mindset, like it feeds into the culture of the company. Like it's not, I'm not trying to say it was a very New York grinded out kind of culture, like not in a bad way. I'm like, hey, we're here to like succeed. We're not here to just kind of like spend somebody else's money. This is my money. If you're going to go like build this product, you're going to go buy this software, you're going to go do this thing, it's my money. Like make sure it's like worthwhile, make sure it like actually matters. And again, like go do it. Like we're here to grow, we're here to like to succeed. But like you have to always be mindful and thoughtful about like what you're spending, what you're doing. So I've always loved that. And so when my team and I got together a few years ago to kind of start this new journey, we really did like have that mindset in place. And so we really are in the bootstrap mindset. We bootstrap our businesses today. We build what our customers ask for. We get paid to like basically do what our customers are asking us to do. Like we're not here just like spending somebody else's money. And so like I've been fortunate enough to like kind of like have the ability to do that right now and like kind of like build that way. And like I really do recommend, especially if people are starting out, like I always hear like, well, nobody's funding my business. It's like, well, did you try to see if it's a real business first? Because like, do you know if people care about it? Are customers interested in it? Because like, yeah, like you might be able to convince somebody with a paycheck to write you a check, but like, then like, what are you doing? What are you doing with that? Like, do you have a business there? Or are you just spending somebody else's money just for fun? Like to me, like that mentality is like the wrong way to approach a problem in general. Now, like I personally believe that like right now, at least for certain types of businesses, especially like bootstrapping is the way to go because it gives us way more flexibility. I don't answer to anybody else. Our team, we answer to ourselves. We can bicker all we want between each other, but we're not answering to LPs. We're answering to ourselves right now. And it's really, really fun as a team and on this journey. So for us personally, it makes a lot of sense for us. In other situations, if you just need the capital because you have a great idea and it's working, you just need to grow, by all means, like take that money and run with it. Like I'm not trying to say venture capital is wrong, but for many, many instances, including like some of the things we're working on, hey, like go figure out the business first. Make sure it works. Make sure it's like actually successful. Make sure there's a market for it. And then, I don't know, 6 to 12 months from now, if I feel like it's worth it, maybe we'll go out and raise a round and do something because like, we don't need the money. It's because like, actually, let's go do this to kind of try to win right now. The best way to get venture capital is to like basically get it when you don't need it. Like that's when you get the best terms. That's when you can really really succeed. And so for us, like that's our mindset. I know it's a long-winded answer, but like I said, I could go on for days about this. But overall, like for us, the bootstrap mindset of like I only exist tomorrow because I sold a client today is like really, really powerful for me, at least mentally, to make sure that I'm still with it every single day.
Thanks for listening to the AI Marketing Navigator. Ready to simplify your own marketing automation? Digital Pop helps make it happen so your small business can scale your marketing fast. Learn more at thedigitalpop.com.